today I am not here, and what you are going to be working on are some trigonometric identities matchups. So I wanted to explain how that would work. So I'm going to either ask the sub to watch this video or for you to watch this video just to explain the instructions. First of all, you're going to get a piece of paper that looks like this. And what I want you to do is make sure you put your name on that paper. So if it's me, I would put my name on the paper. You are going to be working with somebody else, but you all have to turn in a paper. That's really, really important, because I just want to make sure that if somebody's not pulling their weight, that I don't have one person doing the work of the other. So let's say that I don't know, that Josue was going to be my partner, so then I would just put Josue down there in parentheses so I know who you worked with. So then you are going to be using trig identities, and so the next thing I want to make sure that you and your partner have out is, the other day I gave you this trig property sheet. Looks like this. And so I'll try to zoom out if I can do that a little bit. The ones that you are going to be using most likely are this top box. In addition to that, I think you might be using some odd even ones too. I'll look ahead, but I'm pretty certain you won't use a whole bunch of cofunctions. So the ones you're going to use the most are the top box, reciprocal and quotient properties, and this bottom box, odd even identities. In addition to that, you wrote down in your notes the Pythagorean identities. These are going to be the other ones that you use. So those would be sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. 1 plus tangent squared theta equals secant squared theta. And 1 plus cotangent squared theta equals cosecant squared theta. All right, so what you're going to notice is there are 3 sets of matchups, and they come in these different cards. And so once you're done with one set, you're going to return that set to the sub and trade in the other. So the first page is set A, okay? The second page on your answer sheet is an envelope that has set B, and they're also color-coded. And the third is set C, so this is the third page. They get progressively a little bit more challenging, so that's why I have you start with set A. So you're going to get your envelope out between you and your partner, and these are all green. And then you're matching these up, okay? So this is 1, for instance. And then you're trying to match it with a letter. So I'm going to just do one in the middle. Let's find something. Oh, here's 3. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your numbers on one side. All your numbers on one side, and your letters on the other side. And one of these numbers is going to match with one of these letters. And your job is to decide which one. So let's say I'm doing number 3. I'm going to just do this as an example for you. I write down the identity cosine of negative x. And then I am looking for a couple things. I'm looking through all of my letters here. And I'm also using my trig identity sheet to try to figure out what that is equal to. So looking at my trig identity sheet, I noticed that this is an odd even identity, and that the cosine of negative x equals cosine of x. So I'm going to go look and see if that was one of my cards, and it was. So number 3, cosine of negative x, would match with letter E. So I write 3, and I'm going to write goes with E. I guess I'll just put it right here on the side so I know what it goes with. Cosine of negative x, I'm going to write it down, equals cosine of x. This one didn't even have any work to it. And just put that it was an odd even identity. Okay. once you're done with all these, I did one of your 5 for you. When you're done, you're going to check with your sub because they will have an answer key to see if you matched them right. So it's real important that you have some work here, and if possible, and what it matches with. And then you're going to give your match up after you've completed all 5 back to the sub, and then you're going to move on to the next one. Okay, I'll do one for you in set B as well. Okay, so let's set B. You're going to notice when you get to this page, these are numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So once again, you're going to get your packet out for set B. These ones are blue. You're going to find the numbers. So here's 10. Is this 9? Can't see it. No, that's not 9. 7, 8. That must be number 6, I guess. Okay. And then these are all the different letters. Okay. All right, so these ones are going to be more complex, usually more steps. And so I'm going to have to do some work and try to work around with these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick number 7, which is secant squared minus 1. Okay, I'm going to leave these off to the side. What I notice about secant squared x minus 1 is that it is the second Pythagorean identity rearranged. Okay, in other words, if you would subtract 1 from both sides, so I'm going to actually write that down, secant squared x minus 1, I could get to by rearranging the first Pythagorean identity. Okay, if I would subtract 1 off both sides, I would get secant squared x minus 1 equals tangent squared. And this is a Pythagorean identity. So the very first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is see if tangent squared was one of my options. I see tangent, but not tangent squared. Okay. Shoot. Okay. So then I look again and I try to find, is there anything else that equals tangent squared? And I notice this card over here. So tangent squared is the same thing as sine squared over cosine squared. And how do I know that? That is a quotient identity from up here, that the tangent equals sine over cosine, so tangent squared equals sine squared over cosine squared. So this is a quotient identity. So I guess what that means is number 7 matches with F. I would put F down here, and you just might want to kind of match them up on your desks as you're writing them down. Okay, I hope that that is enough explanation because I at least did 2 of them for you. If you're getting stuck, use your classmates. If you're getting really stuck, then maybe mark some things, or maybe like you'll know, hey, I know this has to go with this one because I used all the other ones, but I'm not sure why. So that on Friday when I'm back, we can kind of clean that up together. So trig matchups are what you are working on both Tuesday and Wednesday in class.